Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Dawnshaee and this is Intro to Eclecticism. As you can see from the title, I am bringing you all my May 2020 book wrap up. Originally for the month of May, my goal was to read 3 books. 3 books. That's all you had to do, Dawnshaee. And guess what? I did. I surpassed that goal. I read 8 books this month and I'm currently starting on my 9th one. I'm really gonna take my time with it just because I'm in no rush. But today I am bringing you all 8 of those books, and I'm actually going to break them down by how I rated them. So I have 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars of this month. None of the books that I read were any type of struggle reads. None of them were hard to finish. None of them I was like, oh, maybe I should just abandon this. They were all really worthwhile. So if you feel like any of the books that I mentioned today, they're like something that you're kind of interested in and you want to know a little bit more, on my Instagram, I actually do like small book reviews on almost every book that I read. And I'm saying almost because I think I've done every one so far, except like 2 or 3. So yeah, I provide small book reviews, so you can check that out at Intro to Eclecticism on Instagram. I'm trying to grow my presence in the Bookstagram community, so go ahead and give me a follow, engage with me. I definitely respond, I talk back, I'm human. And then if you want to see the books that actually spark some type of inspiration for my own writing piece, on my website, introtoeclecticism.com, you can see my book revelations. They're called book revelations because they're books that provided me with some type of revelation. And that's that on that. So let's get started in the 3-star books. The first book that we have is With the Fire on High. So With the Fire on High, I actually rated this 3 stars because I bought this book last June, or my mom gifted it to me. One of the two. Last June for my birthday. And at first, when I first picked it up, I was just like, I can hold off on this. Like, I'm not that pressed to read it. But this month I was like, I'm definitely gonna read it because I've had it for a year and it's probably felt abandoned. One thing that I like about Elizabeth Acevedo is that all of her stories are about Afro-Latina women or Afro-Latina teenagers, and just like the differences between someone living in America or someone living in the Dominican Republic, and I really enjoyed that. I also love how she throws in like a mixture of Spanish within her novels. One thing about this story is about a girl named Imani Santiago, and she wants to be a chef. So I thought there were going to be more recipes sprinkled out in the novel, but it wasn't. There were like 3 recipes, like legit recipes that you could follow. I wanted to see a lot more of that culinary culture from the Dominican Republic and just how she has mixed it in with her American experience. So I really like the story. I love like the love aspect, but most of all, I really value the way that it was about her making a decision about her life and her future, and it wasn't necessarily focused on the love concept. This is 3 stars just because I don't think I'm going to read this again anytime soon. I would potentially read it again, and I would definitely recommend it to other people. The next book is actually the book that I got with the Book of the Month program. So this is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I wanted to read something suspenseful, and I was really excited about this book just because it was my first book with the Book of the Month, and I was just like, oh, I'm so excited. And so this is the first one. It's about like a suspense thriller. There's a wedding being held on this remote island. And so basically someone dies. I don't want to ruin it for you as far as who dies, but I did like how it was from multiple point of views. A lot of people I know do not like books that are, you know, switching between characters for each chapter, but I did actually enjoy that just because of this storyline and how it was supposed to like go. There was a lot of doubling back, so like the stories were overlapping, so it was like one person would talk and then The next person would talk, but they would talk about the last person's experience from their point of view. So I don't know, I liked it, which is why I gave it 3 stars. Again, I probably won't read it again anytime soon, but this is a good read and I would recommend it to somebody. Yeah. So, The Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl by Issa. I actually rated this 3.5 stars. I think that half of a star came in just based off of my admiration for Issa as a creative, as an actress, as a writer, as a producer, as the person who wears all of these hats that she does. And I think that shows in this writing style. The reason I did not rate it as high as I had initially anticipated was because, like, for it to be like a memoir or just a story or a background of her life, it was just kind of all over the place. Like, it didn't like follow a timeline. Like, it was just here, then we were here, then we were back to when she was 7, and I was just like, okay, hold on, slow down. Like, where are you at? Are you in Africa? Are you in America? Like, help me out, Issa. But I love Issa. If she ever watches this, I hope she knows how much I love her. If she writes another book, I'm definitely gonna buy it. That's just how I am. So now let's jump into my 4-star books, right? So back with another Elizabeth Acevedo joint. So this is The Poet X. I understand wholeheartedly why this was granted the National Book Award, just because I love when Elizabeth Acevedo gets into her poetry bag. Like, sis, I don't know how she makes the story go the way that it does, but it just flows so effortlessly. And this is probably the book that solidified, like, if Elizabeth Acevedo, not even if, when she does write another book, I'm definitely pre-ordering. And I don't pre-order books. I've never pre-ordered books, but I would definitely pre-order her next book. This book is about another Afro-Latina girl. Her name is Xiomara Batista, and I still probably said that wrong. And she breaks it down in the poems, like how you pronounce her name, and I still probably butchered it, and I'm sorry. But this is just about a girl who is pressured by her family, mostly her mom, to maintain this representation. She's battling with religion and just her own preferences and what she wants in life. This book encourages you to question any and everything that someone presents to you, and figuring out how it applies to you. And I think that's really important, especially for young girls growing up. Like, there are so many expectations for women, and I think Elizabeth Acevedo does a really great job, like, making sure that is touched on in every novel that she has written, well, that I have read so far. The next 4-star book that I have is An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. Okay, first of all, so many people recommended this to me, and I'm so glad they did. So the reason I gave this 4 stars is because it was so messy, and I felt like there should have been more to it. Like, I will definitely read this again. I'm going to recommend this to the next person and the next person, just how people recommended it to me. But An American Marriage is about this newlywed couple. They've only been married for 1.5 years. Roy is the husband, and he gets arrested for a crime he didn't commit. Celestial, his wife, knows good and well that he did not commit this crime. They were together at the time of the crime, and she was awake during the time the crime occurred. But he still ends up going to jail for it because you know how it goes for black people in America. They get sent to jail for stuff they didn't do. Don't get me started. But basically what happens, Celestial cheats on him while he's in jail. And you know, people say you're supposed to hold your man down while he's in prison. This is one of those circumstances where she knew better. She should have been fighting tooth to nail to get her man out of jail. And so she had her family do it, but she was such a coward. And I really hated that for her as a woman. Like, she couldn't even admit to Roy, like, the decisions that she made while he was in prison. And on top of that, the man she leaves him for is her best friend and his friend. So if you like mess, go ahead and get you An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. So for my 5-star books, my month would not be complete without, you know, some type of classic. I think I'm committed to always adding in a classic to each month, like just to make sure that yes, there are so many great books like coming out, like so many new writers, so many new authors, so many new perspectives, and I love it. I really love to see it. But I think I really enjoy classic novels and just making sure that I'm like, you know, reaching back from time to time, so that I can develop as a reader and a writer myself. So James Baldwin is the start of my 5-star books for the month of May. So James Baldwin, The Fire Next Time. The only other book of Baldwin's that I've read so far is If Beale Street Could Talk, and that was also another one that I gave 5 stars. But this one I really liked, although I think I read it at the wrong time, just based off of the climate that the country is in right now. Like, I probably could have picked a different time to read this, but I'm still very grateful that I read it. Like I said in my last wrap up, I usually don't highlight in books, but as you can see, like, James Baldwin pushed me to that point. I also really like all of the jabs that he put in at the very end. So The Fire Next Time is a letter that he has written to his nephew who's actually named after him. His name is James. And so this is one of the books for this month that inspired me to actually write a book revelation. So you might want to go ahead and check that out. And definitely check this book out. Check out all James Baldwin's works. Like, it's evident that he is an immaculate writer. So definitely get your hand on a few of his books. I can't wait to order some more. My next 5-star book is Elizabeth Acevedo's Clap When You Land. This came out this month, and y'all, I was watching the mailbox like a hawk for this one. I really was. So something really amazing about this book, I'm one of those people who like gravitate towards the cover. Like, if I feel like you put a lot of effort or you had a lot of, like, you know, investment into your cover art, like, I'm gonna like want to read it even more. But this book in particular, I like how it's like a dark skinned girl and a light skinned girl, just because, like, you know, colorism and how all that's portrayed. And I think Elizabeth Acevedo did a really great job of like hinting on that without making it so like all in your face about colorism within like the African American community. But in this specific example, it's like the Afro Latina community. I really like that she's always hitting on like family and just like the dynamics and like trying to like find love in all of that and just all the hardships. I love Clap When You Land. So basically, this is about Camino Rios and Shahira Rios. I love saying Shahira every time that I was reading this because I think it's such a beautiful name. But the two girls don't know that the other exists. The reason that they found out that they're sisters and that the other exists is because their father dies in a plane crash. It's really like, you're gonna think that it's gruesome, but it's like, it's real life. And this is actually, I think she said that this was inspired by a plane crash that did occur from like going from New York to the Dominican Republic before. And so it's like sad, but it's also like one of those books where it's like, wow, like I really love the people that's connected to me, no matter how we came to be, even if it wasn't ideal. Like, it makes you appreciate those nearest to you. And so my last 5-star book for the month of May is The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. I wanted to cry. I'm just going to say that. I wanted to cry. And then most of all, I really, really appreciate the plot twist that's at the very end. So this is another novel about a black man. Not even a black man. This is about a young black boy who was on his way to basically tour his college or start to begin college classes, and he hitchhikes a ride from this stranger. It was another black guy, so he thought they would be safe. Come to find out, it wasn't safe for him, and he ends up getting arrested. So instead of sending him to prison, they sent him to a reform school, and this reform school is really like a torture chamber, and it's really, really sad. But definitely the plot twist at the end is what solidified it, that 5 stars. So pick you up a copy. I figured today I could also introduce you all to my June TBR list. I'm currently starting the Harry Potter series. My little cousin actually recommended it to me, and I see why so many people really love Harry Potter. I've only read the first chapter so far, and I'm just like, oh my beepity bleep bleep, like, what is happening? But it's just exciting, especially for like children and stuff. So I probably should have read this when I was younger, but I guess I just wasn't in the mind state to accept wizardry and, you know, magic and all of that. But I am now. I'm really open to it. So I can't wait to, you know, read through the series. I might finish it before the end of this month. Who knows? But so far, my goal for June is to read 4 books. And the 4 books that I already have lined up are all written by Black authors. I'm so excited. I say I'm so excited about everything, but y'all, I am excited about these 4. So the one that I'm most looking forward to is Deacon King Kong. This was actually A. Marie Book Club. This was their pick for the month of May, and that's when I seen it. And you know, like I said, cover art. I'm a cover art whore. So I was like, ooh, yes, tell me more. So when I seen what it was about, it's literally about a deacon who goes and kills the neighborhood drug dealer in front of everybody. And it's just like, hold on, wait, what? How do you feel compelled to do that? How do you become that courageous? Which I guess is the hint on why it's called Deacon King Kong, because like you have to be big and bad to do something like that. He ends up going to jail, and I don't know, it seems intriguing. Another one that I have is the Zora Neale Hurston book, The Hitting a Straight Lick with a Crooked Stick. This is a compilation of stories that she wrote during the Harlem Renaissance, and they've been put together in a book. Again, cover art looks great. Love it. Love to see it. This is my first Zora book, which I know you can scold me in the comments. I do not blame you. But I'm excited just to see, you know, her writing and everything. And hopefully this introduces me to her in the best way. The third book that I have lined up for June is actually The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abi Dare. So this is about a 14-year-old Nigerian girl named Adunni, and she wants to go to school. She wants to get educated, but her family ends up basically exchanging her for some rice, some chicken, a TV, and 4 goats. Like, how? That's so awful. And so this girl is going to do everything she can, even after her failed marriage and being exchanged and sold into servitude. We're going to see like how she finds that voice and how she gets to, you know, push through regardless of how she's been, you know, handled in the past. And then the last book that I have lined up so far is The Care and Feeding of Ravenously Hungry Girls. So this is about a woman named Aletha and her husband. They get arrested. Not sure why they get arrested, but Aletha's not Aletha. Althea's sisters end up having to take care of Althea and her husband's children. So I don't know, like they happen to come face to face, you know, that exposure of the American family and just all of that. I love like the realism in fiction books, so I'm really excited. I hope you enjoyed this May 2020 book wrap up with me. If you have any suggestions or book recommendations, I'm always open and eager to hear those. I feel like books are the best investment. I just love to read. I love having the physical book in front of me and reading. I'm not a Kindle type of person. Maybe I'll try again down the line, but at this time I'm not. But give me any recommendations. If you really enjoyed this time with me, go ahead and subscribe. I can't wait for my next video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.